Oh my gosh. Welcome, welcome. All right, everybody. Welcome back. This is Slice of Pie Tipsy Tuesday. I'm Shelley Jeffcoat. And I'm so excited to have Angela Black join me tonight. We're going to talk to the customer service queen and all that she reigns, okay? So, first of all, thank you so much for doing this, for coming on. And for those of y'all who are watching, whether you're catching the live or the replay, please like, love, and share. Do the stuff that you're supposed to do. Make sure you support Angela, okay? So,
Oh,
Angela, thank you so much for being here.
thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm
Absolutely.
excited to talk to you.
Oh yeah. So before we get oh hello, hold on now. There's folk. Listen, let me just can I just embarrass Sergeant Major Mario, who is a for real YouTuber influencer.
Well, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. So okay. So Angela, just so that y'all know who she is to me, okay. First of all, I feel like we are family because I did have the name Angela was one of my names before I was married. So my full name was Shelley Ann Angela Raquel Wilson. And that Angela is no more. So I feel like we're related in some like we're related in
It's
that
part of
way.
the family,
It's
yeah.
part of the family. But we're also both members of the Atlanta Black Chambers, and we're in the Training and Professional Development Committee. So the idea that we're able to come together and talk about everything that you do is, I think, it's going to be really helpful for all business. Listen, whether you're small or medium or large, y'all need to hear what Angela has to say around customer service. So before we get too far into it, I wanted to find out a little bit more about your journey and how did you become the customer service queen?
Well, let's see. It started, I was 14, my first real job. And I was in customer service. I was answering the phones for a hair salon. And from that, I went into retail sales and then into pharmaceutical sales. And I spent most of my career in pharmaceutical sales. But I've done B2B sales, relationship oriented sales, multi level marketing sales,
Wow.
sales you can think of, I've done. And I've won a lot of sales awards, national awards, regional awards. But I don't think that it really was that I could sell so well. I think that the reason I won those awards is because my customers and my clients really liked the experience that I gave them.
Mm,
So all of them said, they felt like I was their only, I mean, they were my only customer.
wow.
So I was able to do exactly what I said I was going to do, either before I said I was going to do it or when I said I was going to do it, and give them that wow factor in my day to day activities as a rep, such that they had that know, like, and trust factor so much that anything I sold them, they probably would have purchased.
Wow.
So I having all of those relationships with my clients, I said to myself one day, you know what, I'm going to start a consulting firm where I teach Black owned businesses specifically, but also women owned, how to improve their customer service in such a way that they increase their revenue through referrals, repeat business from those customers, loyalty, and retention. So I was laid off for the fourth time in my career.
Wow.
And I decided that's it. I'm not going back into corporate America. At that point, I'd been in corporate America for 25 years plus. And I just thought I have enough expertise that I could teach people how to do what I did. I was a trainer. I trained sales reps. I managed sales reps. So I can do this for small businesses. And one of the main reasons I decided to focus on Black owned businesses is because a lot of people say Black owned businesses don't provide good customer service. And I
Yeah.
don't like that. I don't like that stereotype. And it makes me angry because any business, whether it's a small business, large business, Black owned, white owned, anybody owned, across the board, customer service is horrible.
That's true.
And unfortunately, Black owned businesses don't get the benefit of the doubt when they make a mistake. And people say, you can't work with Black owned businesses. You can't work with Black folks. I tried to help this Black owned business and it didn't work. Right. And so, unfortunately, because it's almost like when we're in corporate America, we have to work harder to
Yes.
be seen on the same level. When
Yeah.
you're a business owner, it's the same thing. We have to work harder to be seen on the same level. And if we make a mistake, that mistake weighs heavier on us. And I want to make sure that I help those businesses do the best they can, put their best foot forward when it comes to serving their customers. So that's why I do what I do and how I ended up here.
Wow, I love that. And I just want to call out the ROR, the fact that, yeah, it is invaluable and it does create a competitive advantage. Yeah, and you're right, Sergeant Fields, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. And to that very point, for folks who are watching, live or replay, this is so important if you're thinking about whether you want to be an entrepreneur or a business owner. Again, whether it's just you running the business or you've got 3 or 10 or 100 people, is making sure that you have a way to address customer service. How, what is the experience that you want your customers to have? That really impacts your business brand, right? So,
Right.
making sure that you're having even an expectation as you're setting up your business. When I leave you, if I pay you my money, what what do you want me to say when I walk out the door? And I love the story about how you were able to transition your skills. So there are a lot of folks who are kind of in the same boat where maybe they were impacted even recently with the recent layoffs and whatnot, and they're trying to figure out what you can do next. And I think what I really appreciate about you, Angela, is that you're one of those folks who've been able to take your God-given skills and talents and you've made it into something else. You were able to shift into creating this incredible business that really is serving our community. And y'all, we need her, okay? Because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of these stereotypes for real, okay? So when you think about customer service, what are some of the misconceptions you would say that people have about customer service?
One is that when people say customer service, I think they're really talking about the overall experience. Customer service itself is just a portion of the customer experience. So, customer service is if you have an issue, you call or you speak to someone via email because you have an issue and you need that issue resolved. That's the service that you receive when you're having an issue or you have a question and you need an answer. That's customer service. But the customer experience is what we tend to think about when we say customer service, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, think about the treatment that you get at, say, a Walmart versus a Publix.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know when I go, I don't go anymore because I cannot stand the lack of customer service. So I refuse to spend my money there. But if you go to Walmart, one of the things that I did not like is I could never find anybody that worked there. And if I did, and I asked them a question, if they knew the answer, they would just point and say, go to so-and-so aisle. Or a lot of times they really didn't know the answer, right?
Yeah.
Because this is so big and things get shifted, whatever. And then I have to pay for my own groceries, check myself out.
Yeah.
Closed all of the aisles for and they don't hire people to actually check your groceries or your clothes or whatever you're buying out. I just don't like the fact that the company itself does not care whether or not you have a good experience. They couldn't care less. They're still making billions. They couldn't care less. Now I go to Publix. I go into Publix, and first when I walk in, it's very brightly lit.
Yeah.
The aisles are very clean. At Walmart, the aisles are always junky, always somebody stocking in the middle of the day, no matter what time you go. But at Publix, I have yet to see a stock person when I'm there shopping. I've yet to see anybody stocking. And then I realize if I ask somebody, hey, how do I find ketchup? They don't say on aisle 7. They walk
you to it. You're right.
Aisle 7. And they'll point me and say, here's the ketchup right here. Is there anything else you need? Right. Then when I get ready to check out, several aisles are open where cashiers are checking me out. So if I choose not to check myself out, I can do that. I can get a cashier to do it. So the experience is what we call customer service. That's one misconception. Another one is when people start their business, they may have a business plan. They know what they want to sell or what service they want to provide. and that's their baby, and they know it well, and they probably know how they're going to sell it or what they're going to say. What they don't think about is, once I get these customers in the door, what do I do then?
That's right.
So they haven't planned out the customer service. They've got a business plan, but they didn't sit down and think, what's the customer journey? What am I going to do if someone's upset? How am I going to handle that? What, as I grow and scale, when am I going to hire somebody to handle this portion for me? Because one of the issues with a lot of Black-owned businesses is that we're solopreneurs.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do everything on our own, and then people fall through the cracks. Your customers fall through the cracks and they start complaining. Right. And that's when they reach out to me and say, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing here. My company's growing and I'm starting to have issues and I need help. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions too is people don't plan for customer service. They just think, oh, I'll handle the situation as it comes. And then what happens is customer A has an issue. They get treated one way. Customer B has the exact same issue. You don't remember what you did for customer A, so you treat customer B a different way. But what if they're friends and they talk to each other and they say, well, I complained and I got a 50% discount. Well, I complained and I just got 20% off my next purchase, right? And so he says,
yes,
for himself, yeah. And so I think writing down your plans of your policies and procedures around customer service, a lot of businesses don't think to do that. So I think that's another misconception.
That's so powerful, that point about documenting the policies and procedures in your business strategy. And, as I'm thinking about, you're right, there's a lot of folks that are solopreneurs, but listen, y'all, even if your intention is to run your business by yourself for the rest of your term, however that is, right? You still need to consider how you're going to approach your customers. You mentioned a good point about referral and word of mouth. And I think, we can probably agree that one of the things that's happened over the past 10 years, especially with social media and technology, is how quickly people will say something about your business and that experience and tie it back to your service. So this is really critical. This is not, this conversation isn't just because Angela is pretty and I have her here. Okay. Aww. This is really critical for folks who are trying to build something. And also, as I'm thinking about the service that you offer, how do you approach like your clientele? Like, what's the model? What does that look like? And what are some of the services that no pun intended, the service that you offer to your clients?
My clients typically will come to me because they're overwhelmed. They are in the mid 6 figures, headed towards 7 figures in their business, and they're starting to feel the pain of customers. When they were early on in their business, they might have had a few little bumps in the road, but they were able to take care of it. Now, though, the volume is such that they see that 7 figures in the mirror and they're going towards it, right? And they know that if they don't get this customer service under control, that they may not reach the 7 figures. And I also have 7-figure clients that are trying to get to 8 figures and beyond, and they're having the same issue. So they come to me and they need help. So depending upon what they need, I'll do everything from train their staff on customer service, and I call it concierge level customer service.
Ooh, okay.
So I'll train their staff on concierge level customer service, or I have one client, I act as her VP of customer service. So I'm on retainer with her for a year, and her current staff will reach out to me if they have customer issues, and I handle them. I will call customers on behalf of my clients and say, I'm the VP of customer service for ABC company, and your issue was escalated to me. I want to speak with you about it. So I'll handle the issue for them. I have had in my corporate career, the many jobs that I've had clients hang up on me. I've had people curse at me. I have people who have cried on the phone with me. I've had people yell at me, just some of everything, right? So I have very thick skin. And in sales, especially pharmaceutical sales, you got to have thick skin. Face-to-face sales, B2B sales, you just have to have thick skin. So a lot of my clients say, Angela, I don't know how to handle this complaint. I don't know how to handle this customer. And if I say something as the business owner, because this business is my baby, it may not come out right.
Yeah.
So I need for you to handle it. So I have taken customers who were very angry and turned them around on behalf of my clients, to the point that now I had one client, her customer was angry and had blasted her on Google. And I called the customer and talked with her. And by the end of the call, she apologized. She took the review down off of Google and then bought more items from the client and wanted her mom to buy items from her. So she was referring people.
Wow.
So there are ways to turn angry customers around too. And I do that as well. One of the other things I do is I create policies and procedures around customer service for my clients, because most of them haven't done it.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
So, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to set it up in such a way that their staff can follow it. So I set those up for them. So there's a number of things that I do for my clients, and that's just an overview. I also am a secret shopper. So it's not like secret shopping where you go to McDonald's and you go through the drive-thru and you tell them, you know, the customer service was great, or they gave me too many fries or not enough fries or whatever. No, it's a customer experience audit, and it's extremely detailed. So I do that for clients as well.
What has been your most surprising client story or turnaround story so far?
Surprising? Oh, wow, I'm trying to think.
She's not giving names of companies, just telling y'all.
I don't give names of my clients. Surprising turnaround story. I would have to say, I have a client that's a travel company.
Okay.
So I would have to say that one of my clients had an issue. I've had 4 travel company clients, but one of them had an issue when they had a group of people go and travel. And I was able to handle that in such a way that the people who traveled were no longer upset and are continuing to travel with them. So I won't say it's surprising necessarily, but I think that was the first time I had more than one individual customer that I was able to turn around. So it was a group of people instead of just one person. So I guess that might be one, but I don't think it was necessarily surprising.
I love that. And thanks. Yeah, I'm also all over the audit concept. And I think even as I'm sitting here thinking about businesses that maybe they are, so I'm going to just embarrass some folks, but even folks who are in the influence community and this is your bread and butter, right? You do still have to consider some level of customer service in the way that you respond. I think it does because you're on these influencer streets, and so you do have to think about how you respond and how you measure your response. Do you have any tips for how people can measure their response? Because I think when you see something on Google that is not, or maybe you see something in a comment or something on social media that maybe that's not the response you were hoping for. Do you have any advice for maybe that first response? Now, the next response after that is please contact Angela Black. Okay. But maybe what's the first response that you would advise people to do when they come across those kind of hot and heavy situations? I'm just like, yes, we need to know.
My thing is, you should have a record of that customer. You should have a client relations management or CRM system, right? That has a record of your customers. And I've been telling all of my clients, get phone numbers of your customers, because I personally hate email. I do not like email. I empty out my inbox. My inbox very rarely has more than 25 emails in it, because I stay on top of it, right?
Yeah.
So because I don't like email, it's very impersonal. And if I wrote you a scathing bad review, if you called me and said, Angela, listen, we pride ourselves at providing a high level of a customer experience. And unfortunately, it seems like we fell through this time. And I am so sorry. What can we do to make this better? If you call that customer and have that personal phone call, one-on-one touch versus an email that might get lost, because very few people are like me. Very few people only have 25 emails in their inbox. I've known people that have 5, 10, 15,000 emails in their inbox, which means it gets buried.
Yeah.
Right? They don't see it, or if they see it, did they read it? So, and if they read it, it's still very impersonal. If I left you a scathing review and I had a really bad experience with your business, you should be able to look in your CRM, find me, see what happened with my, if it's a product-based business, did my order, was it late?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Someone said
that's a whole company. Yeah, he does. He does to call.
If you have their phone numbers, because very few businesses do that anymore. Everything is by email or text or chat box or something like that. So if I've written and recently I actually did write a scathing negative review. So I write reviews. I do reviews of businesses on 7 different social media platforms. And on Google, I am a Google guide because I write so many reviews.
Wow.
Most of the time, I write positive reviews. It's rare that I'll write a negative review because I don't want to tear anybody's company down. That's not what I'm trying to do, right?
Yeah.
If I have consistently bad service with your business, I'm writing a negative review. And my HOA company, the company that manages our HOA, is absolutely horrible. And I've lived in my home for 3 years and I've had consistently bad experiences. And I wrote a scathingly just bad review of them. So one of the managers emailed me. Again, I don't like emails.
Wow.
But she did email me. At least she did respond. So she emailed me and said, I'm so sorry to hear you had a bad experience. Can you, is there anything we can do? And she said, I assure you that the new person that we have working with your HOA is better. And she said, if you have a better experience, would you mind removing your review?
Oh, wow.
So I said, I told her I was a customer service consultant and I don't like giving bad reviews, but I do if it's consistently bad.
Yeah.
I said, I do believe in redemption. So if the person who you have assigned to our HOA is better and provides better service, sure, I'll remove the review, but I got to see it first. So we'll see. But I think any personal touch that you can do can help turn people around because people aren't expecting you to pick up the phone and call them.
You're right.
So, yeah.
You're right. And especially in these days with TikTok and Instagram, where you see people kind of come on and they tell that negative story, and that negative story sticks.
Yeah.
And even if you go behind and correct the issue, forget it. It's already viral, right? Do you have advice for those types of situations where we might run into what do you do if that situation goes viral? So if you're on Google, have you run into any situations where your clients have experienced kind of a real blow up because of a review, or have they contained it before it kind of got that bad?
No, I haven't had anybody who's had such a bad review that it was even near that point, right?
Yeah.
I will say, I noticed there was a young lady on TikTok, because I'm on TikTok too. There was a young lady on TikTok. I can't think of the guy's name. If I said his name, you would know it because he has 10 million followers. But he is this guy that reviews food. I can't. Oh gosh,
I can't think of his name. I just went blank.
He reviews food, and every time he reviews, he'll review TikTokers that sell food items, right? And every time he reviews someone, they go viral. So this young lady that he reviewed, she pickles everything. She pickles all types of foods. And he reviewed her and said how good it was. She went viral. She got, I think, $40,000 worth of orders in just a day or two. And she was only used to packaging 2 or 3 a day. She got bombarded. And then because she got bombarded, she's just a girl in her kitchen
Yeah.
pickling stuff, right? So she got bombarded and she got overwhelmed. Things got pushed back. Then someone said something about, well, are you doing this in your kitchen? You should have an FDA approved kitchen and all. It just kind of got out of hand. I saw what she did. She got on TikTok and she said, guys, I am so appreciative for this order. She said, but please understand, I'm just a regular person. I was just pickling stuff in my kitchen, you know. She said, I did take heed and I did look for an FDA approved kitchen that I could rent to process these orders. Please just have some patience with me. So, what I like about that is she was honest. She addressed it head on. She didn't make any excuses. She's just explaining this is what's going on, right? And that humanity that she showed, I think, endears people to her.
Wow.
Now,
That's powerful.
there are going to be some people who don't care. They just want their stuff in a certain number of days and they don't care. And I tell my clients, you're not going to win every customer. You're just not. Some customers you are going to lose, and that's part of doing business. But you try your best. And I like that she was honest. I think what tends to happen is there are some businesses that get these rip-roaring complaints, and if it goes viral or not, they don't address it. They just kind of shrink back and go away. And that's not the way to handle it. You need to be honest. You need to set honest expectations for your customers. If you get bombarded, especially in today's day and age, folks are getting viral. You don't know when they're going to go viral.
Yeah.
If you get bombarded, be honest with people and say, the response was overwhelming to this recent sale that we had. As a result, our normal ship time is, 10 to 14 business days. Now it's pushed back. If you want a refund, click here. We understand. We hope you don't want a refund, but if you do, we understand, right? Be honest.
I love that.
That's the biggest issue is people they don't want to address it.
They don't want to address it. And yeah, I agree. Honesty is always the key. I love that. And thank you for that. By the way, I just got everybody free advice, but the rest is not, okay? But I love that that approach and that recommendation. And yeah, just very simply being honest about this is kind of where we are, and we're here, we hear you, but you got to do something, right? It's not just about apologizing. You do have to do something to rectify a situation. But again, it all makes sense if you have a customer service plan in place. If you have a policy in place that you can, fall back on, or you can direct your teams to. Right. Again, whether you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever your preneur is, you need to have some kind of strategy in place, because the point that you made earlier, referrals now, all it takes is someone going online somewhere and saying they're unhappy, and it kind of scatters from there, right? That's all right. So we've talked business, we talked about how we met each other. I want to shift a little bit. And by the way, all of your information is in our description. So I definitely want to make sure that folks have a way. Please contact Angela, and I'm all over LinkedIn as well. So if you can't find her, let me know, and I will make sure you get to her. Okay. And definitely, especially for our veteran small business owners, I'll be talking to you guys about business strategy and branding, all that. And I will be using Angela's name in that conversation later this week. So now you'll know who I'm talking about. And if you're missing that, come back here and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I wanted to find out more about as a business owner, because there are also a lot of folks who are doing that transition from a corporate role, and they're moving into this space where, you're killing it. Okay. So what advice or tips would you have for those individuals who might be thinking about moving from those traditional corporate job, traditional office job, but they're trying to kind of do something, build something of their own?
Well, first, this is not my first rodeo. So here's something you don't know about me, probably. This is my third business that I've started. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. And my first business was in high school. I had a couple businesses in college. And then I got married, I had my children. And then I got a divorce. So I was a single mom most of my children's child rearing years. So during those single mom days, yes, I had my day job, but I still had something I was doing to make extra money. So one of the businesses that I started, I was a professional organizer and I helped people get rid of clutter. So that's one of the reasons, like I said, I clean out my email list
Yeah.
and the clutter. So I used to help people get rid of clutter, and I had to build that business from the ground up. And I did it. I quit my job. I was working at a hospital in HR, and I hated HR. It was very cutthroat at that hospital. I did not like that. I was used to being in sales and being out and about every day and not being in the same four walls with the same five people every day. And I didn't like it. So I quit that job, started a business as a professional organizer. And I was on Hoarding Buried Alive as an organizer, helping.
Wow.
So I have an IMDb page.
Okay. Okay.
But it's not under Angela Black. It's under my married name because I kept that name for a while. But anyway, doing that business though, not having any other income, I had to learn pretty quickly what it takes. Like I was the marketing person. I was the CEO, the janitor, the person cleaning out folks' houses and hauling it off in my minivan to the trash or to donate somewhere. I was everything. I was a PR person. I was the ads. Just everything. And because I had to build it from the ground up and it had to be successful.
Yeah.
Then when I started this business, I kind of knew how to get off the ground, right? What I didn't know though, that business was started in 2007. That was before Facebook was big as it is.
Oh yeah.
There was no TikTok. Instagram, I don't even know if we had Instagram back then. There was no ads online. I didn't know how to do any of that, right? So I got myself involved with an organization that taught me how to do those things. So I would say seek out other entrepreneurs, because the organization I'm a member of is a group of Black entrepreneurs, and we all help each other. Most of the stuff that I've learned over the past year about how to advertise my business, how to, even the services that I need to offer, even my avatar, who's my target audience, all of that stuff I've learned from being in a group of Black entrepreneurs. It doesn't have to be Black entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs who have guided me, mentored me, coached me. We do this thing together. And that's another thing. Entrepreneurship can be very lonely.
Yeah.
And to have a group of people that understand what I'm going through, that understand why I work more hours now than I ever have, who understand why I work on Saturdays and Sundays, sitting at my desk, writing or strategizing. Those people support me, they help me, and they make me feel not so alone in this journey. So I would say seek out people who are entrepreneurs too, who understand what it's like, and maybe seek out people who are still working in a 9-to-5, but are trying to, build a business. I would also say find some mentors. You may have to pay for some coaching because you don't know everything.
That's right.
And as much as I tried to handle everything when I was a professional organizer, I didn't know everything. And the company wasn't as successful as I would have liked for it to be.
Right.
Because I was trying to solopreneur it. And I was pulling everything up by my bootstraps and trying to do it all on my own instead of reaching out to people who knew better how to do certain things. I thought I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money to do it. Right. But I had money to buy some shoes.
Right.
I had money to go to Disney World with my kids. Why couldn't I take that money, invest it in hiring someone to teach me or to do it for me?
Right. Outsource.
Right.
Yeah.
Why didn't I use that money? Because I didn't know. I didn't know. So I would say, don't be afraid to invest in yourself and invest in your business. Hire, and even now I'm learning how to delegate. I've got 3 assistants that work with me that I'm delegating stuff to. And I didn't even realize when I started this business that I would be hiring assistants as quickly as I have. But because of the organization I'm with, that the entrepreneurs, they are the ones that are like, girl, you You cannot do all of this on your own. And your company will grow faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you hire people to help you. So I think people who are working a 9 to 5, because I've done that too, working a 9 to 5 and have the business on the side, you might have a split focus.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you got to do your job, you got to pay the bills, but then you want to build this business too. So trying to be as focused as you can on the business once you get home. I know you got family and all these other things that are pulling you in different directions. But if that means you need to hire somebody to help you, then do that. Invest the money to do it so that your company can grow and you can leave the 9 to 5 if that's what you choose to do.
Wow, that is fantastic advice. I love that story. As you were talking about this not being your first rodeo, I'm my family. So I'm Jamaican, y'all. For those of y'all who don't know, because I keep saying it over and over again. But I am from a family of business owners and entrepreneurs, and so I've seen it happen, and I understand the pain. But I also understand the good stuff that comes, the celebratory things that come out of that. But like you, when this is my second business. My first one, I actually had a fashion line. I was a fashion designer. Y'all don't even know. But I had to adjust, right? I think one of the things that picking up from you is, even though that first thing didn't work out, that first thing actually helped energize what you're doing now, because the same level of organizational skills that you needed to build that first business, you're absolutely killing it, as the customer service queen now. So, when you have these experiences, for those of y'all who may be in this position where maybe you're in that first thing and it's not panning out as well as you thought it would, or maybe it's falling apart, whatever it is, don't give up on the dream. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be an opportunity for you to rebuild and kind of take it into a different direction. So I hope that encourages somebody who is. Everybody can't be Angela, y'all. She's been at this for a long time. Okay, we're making it sound easy, but
it's not easy.
Absolutely, it's not easy. There's a journey and a commitment and a sacrifice, but it is so fulfilling to see what you're doing for our community and helping us. So I'm coming down to a couple of minutes. I wanted to ask you one last question, and it's just, what do you want to be remembered for?
Oh, wow.
That's my Oprah question.
I want to leave the world somewhat better than it was when I got here. And I want it to be somewhat better because of something I did, someone I touched, someone I helped, someone I loved, someone I birthed. That's what I want to be remembered for. I want people to remember me fondly and with a big smile on their face and say, Angela influenced me positively in this way. So that's what I want to be remembered for. Not necessarily anything having to do with my business, unless my business helps people in that way, and they can say, because Angela helped me with customer service, I was able to reach the 7-figure goal or whatever. But outside of that, I just want to make this world a better place in some way because I was here.
Oh, wow. That just hit my heart. Well, you've made my world a better place, Angela Black. This has been so amazing. I am grateful for you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Again, thank you for coming on tonight. I am absolutely sure your business is blowing up. Okay. Again, exactly. We just y'all, please keep her busy. Keep the customer service queen busy. And again, just seriously, thank you for everything that you're doing for our community and helping. And we need this, right? If we're all trying to lift all boats, right? So we do genuinely appreciate it. And again, I'm just thankful that you've come on our show here. And so we will hang out in the back room for a sec and tell these people good night. Thank y'all for watching. Please share the video so they don't kick us off YouTube. And thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.